Hi guys, welcome back. This is Pure Crochet. Thank you for clicking, thank you for stopping by, and on today's tutorial we are creating this beautiful summer dress. It's a very unique and simple tutorial and I'm hoping you'll follow through well. This is the close-up of the dress. It looks like this and this is how the back looks like. Please subscribe, like this video, write down your thoughts on the comment section, and let's get started with this tutorial already. Right, so in this tutorial we are using 100% milk cotton yarn, and I used 9 pieces of this and one piece is 50 gram. You'll need a pair of scissors, stitch markers, a 3.5 mm hook and a 5.0 mm hook, a pair of scissors, and that's all for this tutorial. So to begin, we will begin by the bra cups. You'll need 2 bra cups and then we'll be good to go. So I made one of the bra cups off camera and we are going to make the other one with you. So to begin, please take your under bust to nipple measurements. Okay, you'll need your under bust to nipple measurements, and then you're going to work step by step on this bra cup until it fully reaches your bust area. All right, so this is the measurements of my bra cup. It's 5 inches, that is the coverage, and the other one is the length. So as I said, you need your underbust to nipple, and now we are chaining from underbust to nipple. Remember, I'm using my measurements, but you can always adjust your measurements. As for me, my underbust to nipple, I'm going to chain 15 chains. Okay, so chain 15, and 15 is equivalent to 3.5 inches. And please note, I am using a 3.5 mm hook for the bra cups. So for right now I'm just chaining 15, which is my underbust to nipple measurements. All right, as I said, I'm using a 3.5 mm hook. So once you have your 15 chains, kindly chain 2 more to make it 18. Then skip the 2 stitches you just chained, go to the 15th stitch, and we are working a row of double crochets across all the stitches that you have. So this is how we do double crochets. First you yarn over, then you go to the next stitch and finish up by doing a double crochet. I will meet you at the end of this first row of double crochets. I'm at the end of row 1 and this is how my work looks. To begin row 2, we are chaining 2, 1, 2, turn your work, yarn over, skip this first stitch that holds the 2 stitches, go to the next stitch and do a double crochet, and we are working double crochets across all the stitches. I will meet you at the top of our work so that we do our first increase. We are at the top of our work, so yarn over. There's always this stitch hiding here. This is the stitch, so go in there and do a double crochet like this. Okay, and now we want to do our first increase. Yarn over, go in the same stitch and do a second double crochet like this, and then you chain 1, yarn over, go in the same stitch, do a third double crochet, yarn over, go in the same stitch and do a fourth double crochet. So that is how we are doing our increases. All right, once you're done with that, go to this other side and do normal double crochets. Okay, so we will be increasing at the top of our work with 2 double crochets, chain 1, then 2. This is how we make our brackets becomes wider, by increasing at the tip only, and then we go in this other side with normal double crochets. I will meet you at the end, so we increase again. I am at the end of my work, and at the end here we chain 2, turn your work around, you yarn over, skip the 2 chains. Alright, skip this stitch, go to the next stitch and do a double crochet, and we are working double crochets all the stitches. I will meet you at the top of our work so that we do increase again together. I am here at the top, and remember at the top here we go in this top stitch and do 1 double crochet, go in with the second double crochet, alright, like that, then you chain 1, go in with the third double crochet, remember it's in the same space, then go in with the fourth double crochet, like that. Alright, as you can see our work is starting to be wide. Then once you have that, you come this other side and just do normal double crochets across all the stitches that you have, and we are going to work like this until your bracket perfectly fits your bust area. Alright, and you need 2 identical brackets, so I will meet you once you are done with your brackets. Remember, it's this same process we are using until it perfectly fits your bust. Okay, hey guys, so you need to have 2 brackets like this, and they should be of the same measurements. Okay, so at the end here we are going to do a row of single crochets, so please do not cut off your yarn when you finish. We want to work a row of single crochets at the bottom of our bracket. So sorry, just go ahead like this and do the first single crochet in every stitch, but please not in the first stitch, do 2 single crochets, then the rest you'll go ahead and do 1 single crochet in every stitch that you have like this. I will meet you at the end of this row. Right, I'm at the end of my work, and please now you need to take your measurements of your back area. Remember, our bra cups will be sitting on the front, so take your measurements from one rib cage all the way to the back area until your other rib cage, okay? And once you have that measurements, you will chain as long as your measurement is from one rib cage to the other rib cage, or from one breast all the way to the back to the other breast. So that's how long we are chaining. As you can see, this is my measurements. And then once you have that, you'll come and attach your work on this other bra cup. All right, come and attach your work on this other bra cup using a slip stitch like this. Oopsie, sorry. So we attach using a slip stitch like this, okay? And then your work should be looking like this. Two bra cups, the back area, which is now the chains that we did. So you should be having something like this as per now, okay? Please make sure your work is straight before joining using a slip stitch, otherwise your work will come out twisted. So once you're sure your work is straight and you just join here using a slip stitch, you can cut off your yarn. I'm hoping you did a row of single crochet at the bottom of this other bra cup. If not, you can join and then you continue with a row of single crochets. All right, so reattach your yarn, and now we want to start working on the bottom of our work. Reattach your yarn like this, and we're just going to do a row of double crochets. So kindly chain 2, yarn over, and we are still using our 3.5 mm hook. Skip the first stitch, go to the next stitch and do a row of double crochets across the bra cups that you have and also the chains that you have. I will meet you at the end of this row of double crochets. Okay, we are done with our row of double crochets, and this is how your work should look like. Please, I'm hoping your work is straight like this, especially this back strap. So I want to finish here on my rows of double crochets. This is my second last double crochet, and then we will begin the next row. So kindly change your hook. Remember, we are using a 3.5, so now we are changing our hook to a 5.0 mm. And the second row, we are going to do a row of mesh stitches. Chain 4, sorry, chain 3, not 4. I chained 2 already, so I will chain one more, chain one more. So let's start by chaining 3, 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work, yarn over, skip the first 2 stitches, 1, 2. On the third stitch, go ahead and do a double crochet like this, and then you chain 2, yarn over, skip the next 2 stitches. On the third stitch, do a double crochet, skip 2, on the third do a double crochet like this, then you chain 2 again, Let me just readjust this so you see clearly. Chain 2, yarn over, skip 2 stitches. On the third stitch, do a double crochet, and we are going to work like this across all the stitches that we have. I will meet you at the end of this row. I am at the end of the row, and this is how your work should look. Alright, now we are beginning the next row. To begin the next row, kindly chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn your work, yarn over, and we're now working on these spaces. Okay, so I'll just go in here and do on this first stitch. So I'll just go in this second stitch and do a double crochet, then I yarn over, go in each space like this and do 2 double crochets. This is the first double crochet. Go in the same space again with the second double crochet like that, yarn over, go on top of a double crochet and do a double crochet. Now we are in the spaces, and in the space, remember, we are doing 2 double crochets like that, and then go on top of the double crochet and do a double crochet like this, and you're working like this until the end. I will meet you at the end of this row. We are at the end of the row, and to begin the next row, we chain 3, 2, 3, turn your work, yarn over, and this row is just a row of double crochets. So always skip this first stitch when you're working with double crochets. Skip this first stitch, go in the second stitch, and we're doing double crochets, and we will do double crochets across all the stitches. I will meet you at the end of this row. Okay, at the end of the row, and this is how our work is coming in. Well, I really love it already. Now we are going back to doing a mesh stitch. So chain 3, turn your work, and now we are working on mesh stitch. So remember the mesh stitch, you're skipping 2 stitches, go on the third stitch and do a double crochet, then you chain 2, you yarn over, skip 2 stitches, go on the third and do a double crochet, then chain 2, yarn over, skip 2, go in the third stitch and do a double crochet, and we are working like this until the end. So it's a repetitive pattern. Okay, so it is first a mesh stitch, then a double crochet in the spaces, 2 double crochets in the spaces, and on top of a double crochet, then a third one is double crochet plain, then again mesh stitch, double crochet in the spaces, and in the middle of spaces, the same thing over and over again. All right, so we are done with this. Remember, we are doing the mesh, so you chain 3, turn your work, yarn over, go in the space and do 2 double crochets, 1, 2. All right, then go on top of a double crochet and do a double crochet like this. The next one, we go in the spaces and do 2 double crochets like that. Then do a double crochet on the top of a double crochet, and I will meet you at the end of this row. I'm hoping you're following through the pattern well. Okay, if not, you can pause the video or rewind and rewatch again. Alright, so I went ahead and did a few rows, and remember, it's the same pattern is repeating itself over and over again, and this reaches up to my waist area. Okay, this is the measurement of my waist area. My waist is 28, so 14 on the front, 14 on the back. That makes it 28. Please note, we are working from your underbust now all the way to your waist area. And then once you have that, we are gonna close this up, this front space. We're going to close it up, so just add a few more chains, then you will close it up. Or you can make it bigger, because the lower part of our dress is really round and round, so it doesn't matter here if it's big or small, but just do some chains and close it up. If your work is too tiny and your bust is bigger, your waist is bigger, increase more chains until your work reaches your waist measurements. All right, so this is how much I chained. I just chained 10, and I am joining my work onto this other side using a slip stitch. So I want to go on top of my work like this, on top of chain 3 with a slip stitch like that. Okay, and then I will cut off my yarn. But please, before you cut off your yarn, kindly measure and make sure your work perfectly fits your bust measurements. I think I'm gonna increase some more chains, I'm not sure, so let's measure this. This is still more or less the same, so it will be kind of tight on me. I'm gonna increase more chains to be loose. So after you have joined your work like this, cut off. All right, please chain 1, cut off and fasten. Kindly make sure your work is really tight enough. And now take your stitch markers, put on the sides and at the back of your work. Using your tape measure, you should know where your back will be and the sides. So take your tape measure. I added some more chains in the middle here. So take your tape measure, measure your work, find the sides of your work, put a stitch marker on the side. So my work is 15. That means the middle of my work will be 7.5. I'm gonna put a tape stitch markers on 7.5 and also at the sides of my work. On this side I will put 1, also on the other side I'll put 1, and also on the 7.5 mark, which is at the back here, like this. So we are going to reattach our yarn at this stitch marker at the back of our work here. This is now the back of our work, and we are going to join most of our work from here. Kindly reattach your yarn like this, and then chain 3, yarn over, and now we're only going to do a row of double crochets until we get to the stitch marker at the side of our work. So chain 3, turn your work, and we're only working a row of double crochets until we get to our first stitch marker, and I will meet you when we are at our first stitch marker. I am at my first stitch marker, so I want to do an increase here. I will remove the stitch marker, yarn over, go in that stitch, and we are going to do an increase. To do an increase, we will do 3 double crochets in the same space. That is the second double crochet. Put your stitch marker on the second double crochet. Let me finish the last double crochet, which is the third, and then kindly put your stitch marker always on the second double crochet like that. Put your stitch marker there, and then you just continue with the row of normal double crochets until we get to the other stitch marker. Then we will do our next increase. So I will meet you in our next stitch marker to do the next increase, and then we will do next row. Okay guys, so we did an increase as you saw on the other stitch marker, and we are at the end of our work, and at the end here we join our work on top of chain 3 like this using a slip stitch. So go on top of chain 3, please make sure it's on top of chain 3, and join your work using a slip stitch like this. Then to begin a new row, you'll chain 3, and now we are doing something different. Okay, so remove your stitch markers. Your work should be looking like this. You need the bust area, then the waist area, and now we are going to work in the lower part, which is the round skirt like part. So you don't need these stitch markers anymore, remove them. And now let's start working on this lower part, which is the part that takes the longest but it's very, very rewarding at the end, because I believe the dress is very, very beautiful, right? So once you've removed your stitch marker, this row is just a normal row of double crochets, nothing different here. We'll just do a normal row of double crochets, and then I will meet you at the end of this row of normal double crochets. So guys, we're at the end of the row, and please always remember at the end of the row here you go on top of chain 3 like this and join your work using a slip stitch, then chain 3 to begin a new row, and chain 3 acts as a stitch. So yarn over, go in the next stitch, do a double crochet, and we will do an increase on the 5th stitch. So this is the 3rd, the 4th. Okay, this is the 5th stitch that we are doing, and here we are going to do an increase in every 5th stitch. So go in the same stitch with 2 double crochets like that. Again, we start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we are on the 5th stitch. We are going to do an increase again. So let's repeat this. 4. Okay, this is the 5th stitch, and remember here we are doing 2 double crochets, 1 and 2 in the same stitch. So we are going to be doing increases after every 4th stitch. On the 5th stitch we'll be doing increases all around your work. Okay, as you can see, your work is becoming wider at the bottom. So after every 4th, on the 5th you do an increase, which is 2 double crochets in 1 stitch. So I will meet you at the end of your work, and you're going to work like that all round and round and round. As you can see, I did so many rows the same way. After every 5th an increase, after every 5th an increase, until your work goes really round and big. So it has to pass your hips measurements with about 10 inches, because my hips measurement was 42, and if you measure my work is 52. So once you surpass your hips measurements, and you can add either 5 or 10 inches. All right, so this is how my work looks. And please, after you've hit your hips measurement plus 10 inches, stop doing increases. I only did increases actually in the first probably 5 rows, then the rest is normal double crochets with no increases until your work perfectly fits you where you want. Okay, so this is how long my work is, and now we want to start on the pattern below. Please chain 3, go in the same stitch as chain 3 and do a double crochet like this. Okay, then chain 2, yarn over, go in the same stitch here, do a double crochet like this, and another double crochet like this. Okay, then chain 3. Your work should be like this. Chain 3, yarn over, skip 3, 1, 2, 3. On the 4th we are going to put here a double crochet. Please, to do a double crochet, always remember to yarn over. So yarn over, go on the 4th stitch and do a double crochet like this. Yarn over, go in the same space, this, with a double crochet again. Then you chain 2, yarn over, go in the same stitch with a double crochet, and then go in the same stitch again with the last double crochet like this. Okay, this is how we create the pattern below. Then you chain 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, skip 3, 1, should be like this your work. So skip 3, 1, 2, 3. On the 4th, go in with a double crochet like this. In the same space, go with a second double crochet, chain 1, and then do 2 more double crochets. Sorry, chain 1, go in with 2 more double crochets in the same space like this. After you are done, this is how the pattern is coming through. Chain 3, skip 3, 1, 2 3. So 1 2 3. On the fourth, yarn over, go in with a double crochet. You really have to double check your work. Then go in double crochet like this. In the same space, go with the second double crochet. Oops, sorry, I'm just readjusting my work. The yarn is really misbehaving. So after that, chain 2. Please note, we do 2 double crochets, 2 chains, then again 2 double crochets in the same space, and then you chain 3, skip 3, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in the same space, chain 3, skip 3. Okay, so that is the pattern, and we're going to do that for 3 rows. I'm hoping you understand this pattern, right? Because we did increases up to our hips level plus 2 plus 10 inches. Then after you've hit your hips measurements, no more increases until where you want your dress to reach. Once you have the length of your dress, we now do this bottom ribbing, okay, which is the shell stitches. So I'm at the end of these shell stitches. I have 4 stitches left. I'll just keep all 4, then go on top of chain 3 like this with a slip stitch. Please make sure it's on top of chain 3 like this with a slip stitch. Then go on top of this double crochet here again with a slip stitch. Okay, then now we are in the chain 2 space. Or oops, let's just repeat that again. So you go on top of chain 3 like this with a slip stitch, then go on top of the double crochet with a slip stitch. Okay, once you reach here, we are going to chain 3 because now our pattern is slightly changing. So now after the 2 slip stitches, kindly chain 3, yarn over, go in this first space, do a double crochet, chain 3 acts as a stitch, so you'll chain 2, yarn over, go in again with 2 double crochets like this, 1 and 2, and that's how we do a shell on top of a shell like that. So simple, right? So after the first shell, kindly chain 3 again, 1 2 3, yarn over, go in this is the chain 3, go in this top space here and do 2 double crochets, 1, go in the space again, do 2, do the second double crochet like this, so chain 2. Okay, I'm hoping it's clear enough. Chain 2, 1 2, go in the same space with 2 more double crochets. So that's how we make a shell on top of a shell, and we're going to work like this. We're just doing 3 rows of these shell stitches. I will meet you at the end of your work. guys, we are done, and this is how my dress turned out. I just went ahead and put the bands at the front and also the bands that goes all the way to your shoulders. That's all I did.
Bye-bye.
And I'm hoping you enjoy this tutorial. Kindly subscribe, write your thoughts at the comment section, give this video a thumbs up, share your thoughts, and I love you all so much. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next tutorial. Happy crocheting. Bye bye.